Okay, chapter 11, immunity in humans. Okay, in this chapter, we're going to learn about how do our bodies fight bacteria and viral infections. Do you know what are the three lines of body defense in humans? How do antibodies react with antigens, and what are the types of immunity in humans? I think you have learned a bit about this topic in Form 2 in chapter body health. Right, okay. So the first subtopic that we're going to learn is 11.1 body defense. So the learning outcomes is define immunity, antigen, antibody, describe the three lines of body defense in humans. Okay, the first line of defense, the second line of defense, and the third line of defense. Okay, so let us proceed. Okay, 11.1 body defense. You may recall learning about the body defense system in Form 2. The body defense system reacts when pathogens infect the body. A pathogen is a microorganism that causes diseases. Examples of pathogens include bacteria or singular bacterium, viruses, and parasites. Pathogens can only cause diseases if they successfully infect body cells. So, in order for our body to get disease, so we ourselves have to be infected with the pathogens. So, pathogens, what is pathogen? So, this one, you must remember what is the meaning of pathogen. Pathogen is a microorganism. Microorganism means organism that cannot be seen by using our naked eyes. We must use microscope, right, to see this microorganism. And the second keyword is causes diseases. Okay, a pathogen is a microorganism. So this is the keyword. You must remember microorganism that causes diseases. Okay. Examples include bacteria, viruses, parasites. Okay. Pathogen can only cause diseases if they successfully infect body cells. Okay, if they not successfully infect body cells, so nothing will occur lah inside our body. Okay, so the body defense system recognize pathogens as foreign particles known as antigens. So the words antigens before this you have learned in previous chapter in the blood group, right? So we have antigen A. Okay, antigen A, antigen B, and also antigen D. So this one in the blood group. So antigens are foreign particles that enter the body and subsequently stimulate the immune response. So antigens are any foreign particles. For example, in blood group we have antigen A, antigen B, antigen D. So let's say we have the blood group A, right? So blood group A cannot receive the blood from the blood group B. Why? Because B has antigen B. So antigen B is considered as an antigen to the people with the blood group A, because anti-B antibody will attack the antigen B. So this can cause the blood clot, the coagulation occur, and so on. So it will actually stimulate something lah. In this case, stimulate the immune response. Okay. So, other than blood group, pathogen also are antigens. Okay, antigen. Okay, pathogens also are antigens. Okay, because when this pathogen enter our body, so our body will stimulate the immune response. Will produce the antibodies, for example, to destroy the pathogens. Okay, other than this, for example, is pollen. Pollen also example of antigens, because when pollen, some people when the pollens enter the body, it can cause allergic reaction. Okay, it can cause something lah to the person. So any foreign particles that enter the body and subsequently stimulate the immune response, known as antigens. Not necessarily pathogens only. Chemical substance also can become antigens, as long as when our body not recognize the cell and recognize the substance, so this is also known as the antigens. Okay, so antigens stimulate the lymphocyte to produce antibodies into the blood flow to destroy the antigens. So you have learned this one terms, second terms. Okay, the third terms here is antibodies. Antibodies are protein found on the lymphocyte surface or protein released by lymphocyte into the blood plasma. So, I think the only yes, the blood was the leukocyte that produce antibody is known as lymphocyte, right? So lymphocyte has the large nucleus. Okay, larger nucleus. So lymphocyte here. So lymphocyte at the surface of it will has antibodies. Okay, antibodies. Okay, antibody. So antibody is made up of protein. Okay, or this lymphocyte also, right? Lymphocyte also sometimes can release antibody. And then it will destroy the antigen. So any antigens that enter our body, okay, let's say antigen will be destroyed by this antibody in the lymphocyte. So when the reaction, okay, the interaction between antibodies and antigens that cause antigens to be destroyed is called the immune response. So the reaction, okay, reaction between this lymphocyte or between the antibody and also antigen is known as immune response. Okay, reaction between the reaction between antibody and the antigen known as immune response. So there are some ways how this antibody can destroy the antigen. That's we are going to learn later lah. Okay, what are the ways? So how this antibody destroy the antigen. Okay, so this is the fourth terms. The fifth term, okay, is the immunity. Immunity is the body's ability to fight infections caused by pathogens or other foreign objects through specific attacks on the pathogen. So this is immunity is the body's ability. So our body's ability to fight infection caused by what? Caused by pathogens or other foreign objects or known as antigens lah, through specific attack on the pathogens. This one maybe through the antibodies and so on. So this is immunity, the body's ability to fight infection. Okay, the fifth terms. So when our body can fight a disease, we are said to be immune to that disease. Okay, when we can fight the disease, we are said to be immune to that disease. So maybe the effect not so bad lah. Okay, effect from the disease. Okay, so there are 3 lines of defense to fight against diseases in our body. So step by step, not just directly produce antibodies. No. Okay, we start with first one, the first line of defense, and then the second line of defense, and the third line of defense. So the third line is the strongest compared to the first line lah. Okay, so let us take a look what is the first line of defense. So the first line of defense consists of the physical and chemical lineup that prevent pathogens from entering the body. The first line of defense is the defense line that is not specific and acts to prevent pathogens from entering the body. So the first line of defense we can have consists of physical way or chemical way, and then the function is to prevent pathogen from entering the body first. So the pathogen is outside. So this is our body. So it function to prevent the pathogens to enter the body. Okay. So this one also another characteristic is not specific. Not specific. So any means any pathogens or any antigens that enter will be first will be prevent by this first line of defense. Okay. So prevents pathogen from entering the body, means from the outside, from enter our body. So figure 11.2 shows the organs and mechanism involved in the first line of defense. Okay, the first one, we have lysozyme. Okay, lysozyme found in the secretion of tears, nasal mucus, and saliva is an antimicrobial protein that can dissolve and destroy some types of bacteria. Maybe when the bacteria enter our eyes, okay, so our eyes will produce this tears. So tears actually antimicrobial. So it will first dissolve and destroy some types of bacteria lah. So the bacteria are not able to enter our body through our eyes, for example, or maybe through our nose, nasal mucus, and maybe through our mouth, saliva. Saliva also can function to kill certain bacteria. So this is the first lah, lysozyme. Okay, when the, for example, you walk at certain place, then certainly a bacteria enter here to your eyes, right? Here to your eyes. So this will stimulate the tears. Okay, stimulus will produce, and then the tears will kill this, dissolve and destroy this bacteria lah. So they're not able to enter our body through the eyes. Okay, so this is actually the physical, and also chemical lah. So chemical because this is the anti tears. Chemical because in the tears, mucus and saliva has antimicrobial. Okay, dissolve. Okay, so this is actually chemical lah, more to chemical. Okay, and then next we have this mucous membrane. Okay, mucous membrane that lines the respiratory tract secretes a sticky fluid called mucus. So mucus contains lysozyme that destroy bacteria found in the air that enters the respiratory system. Okay, so let's say if from the nose, okay, from the nose it can enter. So now it will move into this trachea, right? In the respiratory tract. So this bacteria able to pass through until here. Then here we have the mucus. Okay, so this mucus contains lysozyme. Okay, so lysozyme that destroy bacteria found in the air that enter the respiratory system. So this lysozyme can be found in the tears first, some tears also, and nasal mucus and saliva. Maybe this one in the eyes, right? So this one is inside the trachea here. So contain lysozyme. So lysozyme also will destroy bacteria found in the air that enters the respiratory system. So now this bacteria able to enter. But before it can enter deeper in our body, so it will be destroyed here in the mucous membrane in the respiratory tract, especially in the trachea lah. Okay, that's the second this one first line lah, okay. And then so now this bacteria not able to enter lungs, to enter the other organs lah. Okay, so mechanism of blood clotting. This one we have learned before. So this one also, blood clotting mechanism prevents bacteria from entering through wounds. Blood clotting. So this one, let's say you have wound here. So what happened? The blood clotting mechanism will occur. It will stop the bleeding, so that the bacteria cannot enter through this opening. Okay, and then next we have the hydrochloric acid. Okay, let's say this one specifically in the stomach. This hydrochloric acid in the stomach destroy bacteria present in foods and drinks. This specifically for food and drinks. So let's say you drink, okay, you eat something, so the food will enter. Is the diagram? Okay. Okay, so you eat. Okay, take another color. Okay, let's say you eat certain food, so this food will pass through. Not through this one. This one is trachea, maybe esophagus here, below here, at the back of the trachea, and then directly go to the stomach. Okay, and then inside here the food will be this bacteria in the food will be destroyed by the hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Okay, and then last one we have the skin. This one all chemical lah, right? Because hydrochloric acid chemical, right? This one also involve the chemicals. For the what mechanism of blood clotting also we have the chemicals, right? Chemical. Okay, so for this skin, okay, skin, of course, skin is the largest what we call largest sensory organ, right? Largest organ, okay, because it will cover the whole body, right, from the head to the leg. So this is the largest organ. So of course, skin is the physical defense that prevents the entry of pathogens because it is tough and it's difficult for microorganism to penetrate. So not easy for bacteria to enter our skin, because it is tough and difficult to penetrate. So the continuous shedding of dead cells layer on the skin surface makes it difficult for various types of microorganisms to grow. For example, let's say our skin, this one is skin. So the bacteria is found here, right? But later our skin keep on shedding. The old skin will keep on shedding, so it will carry also this bacteria, okay, from the skin. And then it's not easy for the microorganism to grow lah because the skin keep on shedding. The dead cell layer will keep on shedding, and then we have the new cells skin here, right? Okay, so where for example, if the bacteria able to grow there, so when the skin shed, the bacteria also will be removed from the skin. It will also fall with the dead skin. For example, dead cell layer. Okay, so act as a chemical shield. So for skin, have the chemical shield through the secretion of sebum. So for skin, have two function lah, physical and also chemical. Because the secretion of sebum, oil and acid in the sebum prevent the growth of various types of microorganisms. So sometimes we have the at our face, right? We have like oily something at our face. So that is known as sebum. So oil and acid in sebum prevent the growth of various types of microorganisms. So microorganism not able to grow in this sebum. And then next, we have also sweat. Secreted by the skin contains lysozyme, a type of enzyme that breaks down the cell wall of some bacteria. So our sweat also actually will help us to fight the infection as the first line of defense because contains lysozyme. So in this case, in this topic defense, you must remember lysozyme. Okay, a lot of substance contain lysozyme. Okay, for example, in the sweat, here we have in the respiratory tract, here we have the mucous membrane have this lysozyme, and also we have the tears, nasal mucus and saliva also have lysozyme. Okay, so it's actually an antimicrobial, means can kill the bacteria lah. So this is for the first line of defense.